Trump, in his first term in office, I think it was about 2018, pretty much told Europeans they were idiots for buying up Russian oil instead of working with the U.S. Well, that was about 2018. In 2022, 4 years after that speech, while Joe Biden was president, he was proven correct. Why? Because Russia turned off the gas pipeline. Now, mind you, part of the reason why Germany did it was because one of their leaders' husbands was a in charge of that pipeline on the Germany side. So he was making tons of money from it. Corruption much? Oh, wait, isn't that how Pelosi made her money? Oh, yeah, isn't that how so many other politicians, whether they're Republican or Democrat, make their money? But Trump doesn't do that. He loses money when he's in office. Now, Russia has been seen for what they are. Now we have a situation where American natural gas is now flowing into the EU. Now, mind you, this has primarily happened this year, but it's still proving that Trump was right. And in case you little left heads that are listening want to argue with me, well, LNG's bad for you. You know, the normal, hey, they want to destroy society bull, their Antifa route showing. So the reason why Europe needs this LNG power generation. Natural gas is key fuel for electricity generation, and LNG is vital to meet this demand. While gas use for power is decreasing, it still plays an important role. Heating and industry. Natural gas is also crucial for heating buildings and for industrial processes, and LNG helps fulfill this demand. As Europe moves away from coal and aims to transition to cleaner energy sources, LNG provides the necessary bridge fuel to fill the gap until renewable energy capacity is sufficient, which you saw with Spain losing all its power. That ain't going to happen. This renewable energy push doesn't actually work. I mean, seriously, it doesn't. But LNG is there. So the U.S., along with Qatar and Algeria, have been supplying Europe with a lot of its demand, with the U.S. being the primary supporter or primary country in all of this. And the sales this year alone has been 4 times higher than the total for 2024. So we're going to get into this story that I found, and I might not be able to get all of it. I'm probably going to leave a link down below so that you can read it and research it yourself. By the way, if you want to know what's going on with the government on the federal, state, or local level, hit like, hit subscribe. Also, if you want to be a little nice to me, I have a Patreon, or if you're listening on YouTube, I have a membership. But I've got a link tree down below as well if you want to help me out. It would be much appreciated, and it would help me grow because I've got other opportunities coming up that I could use a little money so I can get those opportunities sooner. So let's get into this episode. Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself. Okay, I found this article on Yahoo Finance, which they have a lot of good articles on things going on. When Donald Trump warned European leaders years ago that their dependence on Russian gas would leave them hostage to Moscow, the remark was met with skepticism and even laughter. Nearly a year into his second term, those same leaders are now scrambling to secure long-term contracts for U.S. liquefied natural gas as Russia's once dominant grip on Europe's energy market unravels exactly as Trump predicted. Russia's decision to choke off gas deliveries in 2022 in an attempt to fracture Western unity and pressure Europe into abandoning Ukraine has had the opposite effect. Its share of European Union gas imports has fallen from 45% in 2021 to under 10% today. U.S. gas now accounts for nearly 57% of Europe's total imports compared to roughly one-third before the war. The cutoff accelerated a historic realignment in global energy, with U.S. LNG producers rushing to fill the void. The shift has not only blunted one of Vladimir Putin's most powerful geopolitical weapons, but also fueled an American export boom that is binding Europe more tightly to Washington than at any other point since the Cold War. Transformation is most visible in Central and Eastern Europe, where countries once reliant on Russian pipelines are turning west. New corridors linking LNG terminals in Poland, Greece, and Croatia are channeling U.S. and Qatari gas deep into the continent. Nations such as Ukraine, Romania, and Slovakia, long vulnerable to supply cutoffs, are forging contracts that would have been unthinkable just a few years ago. Central and Eastern Europe have been the most vulnerable because these were the countries that had been historically almost 100% dependent on Russian gas, said Ara Sabatis, a senior energy analyst at the Center for European Policy and Analysis. We now see companies in these markets securing U.S. LNG through new routes, particularly via Poland and southern corridors through Greece. Okay, I'm not going to get all into it. Like I said, I'm going to let you read it, but this is starting to show you what's going on. But let's give you a little bit more data real quick. U.S. LNG sales have increased significantly, with contracted sales volume for the year up to date nearly are already 4 times higher than the total in 2024, and monthly exports reaching a record 10.1 million metric tons in October 2025. This growth is driven by new export plant startups like Venture Global's Plaquemines facility and an increase in export capacity. American LNG developers have signed sales and purchase agreements (SPAs) for 29.5 million metric tons per year to date in 2025, a fourfold increase compared to the 7 million metric tons per year contracted in all of 2024. U.S. LNG exports reached a record 10.1 metric tons in October 2025, a new single-month record. This was up from a revised 9.1 metric tons in September 2025. U.S. LNG export capacity has grown substantially from about 1 billion cubic feet per day in 2016 to 11.4 billion cubic feet per day. At the end of 2023. Further capacity increases are expected as new projects come online. The surge is fueled by new project startups such as Venture Global's Plaquemines facility and Corpus Christi Stage 3 project by Cheniere Energy. U.S. LNG developers plan to add an estimated 13.9 billion cubic feet per day of capacity between 2025 and 2029, with the total North American capacity projected to increase significantly over the same period. Almost sounds like Trump knew what he was doing, and by knowing what he was doing, he's helped the American economy. Now, they're trying to put in an LNG plant here in Virginia that I was reading about, and I made a video about it recently. And you had a whole bunch of folks that were commenting, oh, well, this is bad for us. How's it bad for you? You having energy. That's one of the things that they keep complaining about. But I will admit this much. Dominion Energy here in Virginia can't stop increasing the prices. They keep making energy more expensive for all of the regular homeowners in this state. They seem to think that if there's any prosperity, they need to take 100% of it. That, unfortunately, is corporatism at its finest. It's not capitalism by any stretch of the imagination. It's corporatism. And the government backs them up. The state government, that is, which has been primarily, even with some Republicans having some power, it's been turning more and more into a liberal state so much that, well, of course the liberals aren't going to complain. They're getting money from Dominion. Well, as are the Republicans. I mean, that's the problem. You don't this isn't what was wanted with capitalism. If you actually study laissez-faire capitalism, by the way. Um, but Europe, yep, somebody told them the truth. They laughed about it and found out. Go figure. Trump started figuring ways to bring in more money to the U.S. Liberals keep laughing about it, keep lying about it, but it keeps happening. I don't like Trump. I really don't. I don't like cheerleading for him. I've got my reasons for it, but hey, if the man's going to do his job, going to do it as well as he's doing it, I might as well, because we keep having liberals keep trying to destroy all this without realizing that they're hurting Americans. But they don't care. They want everybody to be on welfare. So I thought I'd bring this to you. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.